Hi everyone, this is Sandy Reese with StampItCrew.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. Thanks for joining me for another video tutorial today. We are making an adorable Halloween skull hot drink or cocoa bomb. I was very excited to find these. I found these at Target. Now they do have some online, however, they are in a clear, like a clear box, so they don't have the kind of push out on the face part, which is what makes these perfect for a fun little treat box. So first thing you want to do is take your skull, leave it in the plastic. We need it there to protect it. And then on here we have directions. Now, people might not know what this is. They might think it's just a big solid chunk of chocolate, but we want them to know. So what I did was cut out the instructions, just this one little panel, so that we know what it is. And I just cut, I'm not even worrying about the edges. If you want to cut those off, you can. I just don't want any of that stripe piece showing. Down right there too. Okay, so we need this. Make sure it's pretty straight. All right, we'll set that aside. We're going to use that before we seal our box up. Okay, so because it's a skeleton, we're going to use our Bag of Bones stamp set. We're not die cutting. Well, we did die cut something, so we're going to use the bundle. If I can find it, what I do with it. I was cutting back, here it is, right here, next to me. This has a ton of dies, and what I did was cut some bats. So we've got this little this little die here that cuts out 3 bats. So I cut those out of glow-in-the-dark paper because I used up all of my glow-in-the-dark bats. So, we have the gems, we have the paper. Now the paper is now sold out until November, first week of November. So unless it comes in early, you won't have it for Halloween, but the bats and ghosts are still available. But I will post all the products used and measurements on my blog as well. Okay, so let's make a fun box to put our skull in. So I'm going to use basic black, but this is my template. I will post my template on my blog, and it has the dimensions. It's a 6 by 11 inch piece of cardstock, and then I've cut a window. Now, when I pulled this out, I had to figure out how I was going to put this fun thing through the box. So I got out my Nested Essentials dies, and we have some of these little kind of rounded edge rectangles, and I just used one until I found one that fit right on top of it. Isn't that perfect? It just fits right there. So what I did is cut it out of this big middle panel. So we have a big panel, not the same size exactly, but bigger. Then we have our twos. These are gonna make up our sides of our box, the front and back. And then this middle panel is where you're gonna cut that window out right in the middle. Okay, so I have already scored right here. So if this is 6 and 11, we're going to score it 1 1/4 and 4 3/4 on the short side, and then we're going to score it at 2, 3 1/4, 6 3/4, and 8 inches on the long side. And then on this one, where we have the biggest panel on the end, I just trimmed the edges right there. Okay, so I've done my scoring, so we're just going to cut up on all the tabs, just like this. So it just took me a little bit of time to figure out the size box we're gonna need to go on this fun guy. Okay. And then on this one, we are going to just trim off the corners right here. All right, so let's go ahead and fold on all of our score lines. We'll give those a good crease. careful of that window right there. Okay, and we get our sides folded up. All right, there we go. So what we're going to do is we are going to glue these little tabs inside of our the sides right here. These are our two sides, and this is our front and our back, or it doesn't matter, it's the same either way. But we want to take our tabs. I'm just going to put a little glue and bring those up right here. Make sure your edges are flush or your corners flush. All right, we'll bring this one in. Pinch that for a second to make sure it's in place. And then these two tabs right here. It's kind of hard to see black on black. We're going to bring those up. Bring this one up. Press that in place. Okay, now we are going to take our skull and we are going to fit it in there. Isn't that cool? All right, now this part can be a little bit tricky. So we've got that plastic box in there. So we want to make sure that our little tabs are on the outside. So what I'm going to do first is I have my my instructions for my bomb, so it can go on either side. I'm just going to glue it to the inside of the big one. Why not? It's bigger. It will fit on either one though. So I'm going to let that set for a second. Make sure that that is. Oh, you know what? Yeah, it won't matter. I was going to put it on my small one. On my small one, but that's okay. Just going to grab a couple glue dots. We're going to need those in just a second. Okay, so it doesn't really matter which one you put in first. You just want to make sure they're on the outside of the plastic. So if you can get one on the outside of the plastic, you can get the other one. There we go. And let's get this one. Well, we can get them both in. Now, it will pretty much hold, but what I would do is just add maybe a glue dot just to hold it in place. I'm just going to grab one right there and stick it right inside that tab, and that will hold it together. Isn't that cool? I love it. Okay, now we got to do just a tad bit of decorating. So I cut a piece, another piece of black, and this is 4 1/4 by 3 1/2, and I've used my Trio corner punch on there to just make a fun little edge. You can do whatever you want. I thought that looks kind of like a tombstone. And then this is going to glue right to the top of our box right here. But first we're gonna do a little stamping. So from the Bag of Bones stamp set, I've got this big skeleton. So we're going to do a little embossing on here. And we'll grab some Versamark. So I use my embossing buddy, and that keeps the powder from sticking where we don't want it. And then we're going to use our skeleton. We're going to put them way over to the left and the top to make sure it all fits on there. And then we have Happy Halloween from that same set. And I'm going to put this over to the right. Just want to make sure they don't overlap. There's plenty of room to put them both on. We'll grab our white embossing powder, Sprinkle that on. Make sure we don't have any extra. Isn't that cute? Okay, let's heat this up. So this is our Stampin' Up! Heat tool. It actually has two settings. It has kind of a low noise right here. It doesn't blow quite as hot. It still heats well, so I can talk over it. And it has a little faster heat. And then it's just got this fun embossed, kind of shiny look to it. If you don't have the heat tool and embossing powder, you are missing out, because this is the best thing. I've actually used this to toast meringue on lemon meringue pie. I used this. Yes, I did. Okay, so you just want to make sure that none of the graininess is left from the embossing powder, and you just want it to be nice and shiny. All right, so we're going to glue this to the back of our box. I'm just going to butt it up right there. It's cut right to the size of the box. Isn't that great? Okay, now we can add, I should have done this before I glued it on, but I didn't. So we can put a couple of bats up here. I'm just going to put a teeny bit of glue there. Let's throw a bat there. And we'll put a bat down here. All we really needed this year was some glow-in-the-dark embossing powder. Oh man, wouldn't that have been good? Let's see. I'm gonna add this one bat. He's kind of got his wings up. Let's just add him right here, just so we don't waste him. Okay, now I'm going to grab my great large vanilla and black check ribbon, and we're going to just bring this around and tie a bow on the front just to finish it off. A little extra room. Pull it tight so it won't come off, and then if you need to put a glue dot or some tear and tape to hold it in place, you can. Trim that. Okay. Make sure it's centered. And we are done. Isn't that fabulous? I think this is the funnest thing. And we've got that right there. Won't fall out. Won't fall out. You could use 2 glue dots if you want, maybe one on either side might be a little better. But yeah, this is what I'm gonna send to my kids. Now, hopefully they're not watching, but this is what they're gonna get for Halloween. Because I think this is just the funnest thing. All right, well, thanks everyone for joining me today. Make sure to check back on Thursday. We start a new week. Although I do have one more Halloween treat project to show you Thursday, and then we will maybe branch out into some other things coming up. All right, thanks everyone. Make sure if you would like to place an order this month, I have a host code below. Any orders of $50 or more will receive a free embellishment. And yep, make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss out on future videos, and I will see you all soon. All right, bye-bye.